diaclona.
Prepare for judgment. That opening line would have made more sense if I was actually the one reviewing the Quintesson, but nope, that's Vangelis' turf. And I know better than to step on Canadian soil right now as a stinky American. Sorry about the tariff. Oh no, I am here to do only half a job like Steve did. But Vangelis has done us the courtesy of providing what he likes to call a capsule version of his thoughts. I guess because it is easily digestible and pocket-sized. Internet personality, tell us about the
No longer desaturated, the ornate regalia of the Quintesson bailiff finally unites with classic Alicon greens on the Quintesson Trooper, ramping up the vibrancy and providing a similarly spiffed up head for any of your Earthrise Aleph folk. Or to change this bailiff into a souped-up, gator-faced super soldier.
Ah, thank you, Chris. Teenage me would be peeing all in his torn sweatpants right now. He'd also be wondering what's up with the pronouns in my bio, and oh boy, buddy, you might want to sit down for this one. Back on track. Sorry, still haven't taken my medication today. What are we talking about? Well, it is a cool alternative head sculpt if you're not into animated. Red visor like Cyclops, Hellboy-looking snipped horns, a meaner, harder face, and absolutely no negative connotations or deeply unpleasant references to anything. How wonderful. Real talk, can we take this design back? It is objectively pretty frickin' sweet, Lois. Holy crap. I hope we can. I hope I can, at least. I think I might prefer it to the blue eyes white faceplate, but I have it stowed away in a plastic bag in my closet because looking at it makes me feel icky. Outside of Kiss players, though, this is a wonderful toy. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the Siege Ratchet Hide mold is peak. Every single version of it is fantastic. Super posable, fun to transform, looks great in both modes, and the Auto Trooper wears it like a champ. The crispy clean white pops against the jet black lowlights and the shiny teal highlights. Not to objectify him, but ugh, what a chest. Hoping and praying that none of these colors go the way of G-Axis or Tigatron or Cyclonus, those creamy crustaceans. His sole weapon, what was it called again?
W35L.
Thank you. Bit of a mouthful for something so simple, but there's a beauty and simplicity and a lot of click in this little package. It's a convincing hammer and a decent rocket launcher and a solid briefcase if your Auto Trooper wants to cosplay a 50s dad. No signs of mold degradation on this, or any figures in the pack for that matter. I'm not sure when exactly that's supposed to happen, but the tolerances here are smooth and solid as a bowling ball. For those who had problems with the leg panels falling off willy-nilly, it seems like they've tuned up that connection, though none of my copies of any version of the mold have ever had that issue, so maybe it's a skill one more than a factory one. God, I love this alt mode. It's not particularly accurate to the animated one, but it captures its spirit, like the Ghostbusters. The only whining I have is regarding the wheels. They have ample room to roll, but Mushroom Pegs will never, ever be that guy. I used to have that guy, and they killed him. All rattles and struggle like an unemployed maraca player. This is a solid unit, who manages the rare feat of making white work as a primary color. I feel like a lot of others, Ratchet for instance, end up looking washed out or plain or just dull, but he's all crunch, no moisture. Positively powerful. Ooh, what to say about this guy? Well, for starters,
Realizing the true Gooner Goombon nature of its pretender predecessor, the G2 Universe Decepticon Trooper is the standout of the set for me, using its multi-piece head swaps and Evo Fusion weaponry to encourage even a more frugal builder like me to want not just a pair, but a quartet to give Legacy G-Axis a full squad of bone-faced, horn-headed himbo backup on the battlefield.
yeah. Fair? Okay, what's left? Alright, let's see. So the Earthrise Seeker mold isn't bad, but when that's your opening line, you know things aren't looking great either. The problem really is how much the Siege mold spoiled us. That toy is perfection, and it perplexes me all the more that they were able to make the one with the non-traditional alt mode so much better. Calling him one step forward and 2 steps back feels a little harsh. I do enjoy this guy. Maybe 1 step slightly backward and 1 to the left into a puddle, now your sock is wet. The hand feel really does save every version of this mold. It's nice to handle, simple to transform, and pleasing to caress. If we were going off vibes, the figure would be an easy A+, but if we get into the nitty-gritty, there's some weeds in the dirt. It's very slightly wrong in a lot of ways. No waist, which really sucks, and no wrists, which sucks even more. No landing gear, which is minor, but does not help combined with the other issues. No alternate head, which, buddy, did you not get the notice? That's what the pack is. That's what the point of the pack is. And this is well-trodden territory, but it bears repeating. This is basically just the classic Seeker mold, made big and round. Oh, so big and large. So stuffed full of yummy, nummy, food. Ooh, so big and large and stinky. And the classic Seekers mold is fine, okay? I'm not gonna act like I didn't enjoy the classic Seekers mold. I enjoyed the classic Seekers mold very much. It was great for its time. Unfortunate for us that its time was 18 years ago. Oh my god. That thing is old enough to vote and 4 years past the legal drinking age. I think at this point we should probably expect a little better considering we know how much better they can do. And I do want to take the toy on its own merits, but it really is hard to talk about it without bringing up the context of the Siege Seeker mold, as shown by a few moments ago when I brought it up at the beginning of this section. The problem really is how much the Siege mold spoiled us. That toy is perfection, version, and it perplexes me all the more that they were
Those
able
were
to
the
make one.
days.
And some might say, they obviously need to use the most modern versions of these molds. Okay, well, imagine if they'd given us the Earthrise vignette for the Auto Trooper. Can't imagine anyone would be particularly happy with that. But ignoring the wider context, pretending this is a brand new mold, forgetting that its older brother is 100 times better, and its problematic grandpa is pretty much indistinguishable, how does No Name hold up? He's fine. He's alright. Fun in hand, unimpressive to pose. The colors are pretty, but are also a problem point because there's already a Blue Seeker, and there's also already a Blue Seeker that's almost indistinguishable from the main Blue Seeker. So he is playing third fiddle to the third fiddle of the third fiddle. Bro thinks he's in the orchestra. It is a very pretty blue. The hue is distinct, even if only subtly. So he isn't Thundercracker, but he's kind of Thundercracker, but in my opinion, he isn't Thundercracker.
It is, in fact, Thundercracker. Look at him. Look at them next to each other. No one on Earth could point at this thing in isolation and tell me it's not Thundercracker unless you put the Thundercracker next to them, in which case they're lying because they know already that it's different.
I'm honestly kind of disappointed, though, that they didn't go for a more interesting palette. Lavender or lilac would have been stunning. I would have sold foot picks for a pink Seeker. But again, that's more external factoring. On its own, the blue is very pretty. If you want a Thundercracker stand-in, he's... wouldn't pass the smell test for me, but then my nose is pretty sensitive. If you want a nice Genericon to bolster the ranks of your Decepticon Air team, then I think he'll do you just fine. I have no regrets getting this set. 3/4 of it is great, and the remaining quadruplet is still enjoyable, if a little flawed. There's a wonderful sort of energy of camaraderie in this pack that I don't think any of the others have really captured. As always, it is a collection of absolute randoms and oddities, but these 4 are so characterless that it loops all the way back around to being characterful. Kind of feels like a Z-list group who ends up in a really good Suicide Squad movie.
This is good time.
Found family of nobodies, all of them built to be cannon fodder but determined to be more. 2 of them will fall in love, 1 of them will do a heroic sacrifice, and in the end, the world will be saved, and nobody will know their names. Anyways, if you want to read my ongoing fic about them, go to archiveofourown.org/diaclona. Thank you to Internet Personality Evangelist for letting me marinate on this review for longer than I can admit without being embarrassed. Check out his half of the video, though let's be real, you probably watched his first. Next time, I don't know. Again, not medicated. We'll see how we're feeling.
I was fooled by your count. I was lost, but you fooled.